Antanil Tulian Meldanin, and thank you once again for joining me. My name is Lord Aramil, and today I am joined by this wonderful schmuck behind me.
It's me, AshenRa!
Oh, yeah. And, get back over here, come on. Come on.
Yeah, come here, bitch.
I don't have but one fuzzy companion.
He's drinking water.
Oh, he's drinking water, good. We are also joined by Rodger, the beautiful doggo. I am supposed to have a second humanoid companion, but his lady was ill this morning, so he's going to be just a little bit late. I'm sorry about that, but it'll be okay, I promise. So today, we are celebrating Ragnarok's past, in honor of the Ragnarok that was not.
Why am I not drinking?
Because you didn't bring any drinks.
And the bartender's not here.
There's more Dr. Pepper downstairs.
I'll find stuff.
Where are you going? Okay.
I'm coming! Ruff, watch the dog.
Watch the dog, they say. Yep, that is a dog. Rodger, come here. Come here, Rodger. You want to be on the internet? Come here. Yeah. Come be on the internet. No, come here. Come. Yes. Look at this. Look at this good boy. This is a goodish boy. Yes. Rodger. Oh, well. He's on after Mom and Dad. That's fine. But today, we're going to be telling some of our favorite Ragnarok stories. We're going to be, reminiscing and really doing our best to experience just a little bit of the Ragnarok vibe. Which is why, once more, I'm drinking out of my tankard, because that makes me happy. Let's see here. Just getting everything set up. It should be good, honestly, but I just want to make sure. I still am curious on whether or not concurrent viewers means me, or if somebody's already here. I'm hoping the latter, because that's much better. You guys going somewhere?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Good stuff. So, we're going to start off with, what's a good rag story to start off with?
I don't know, dude. I've only been 2 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know why you invited me to be on the stream either. I've never been to Rag.
That's fine. Let's see. Well, we'll start off with one with the dangers of camping, perhaps. I'm thinking either Roz's tent or Dahirnar's tent.
Or maybe Venus's sleeping
I
bag.
think you just go ahead and
That's
start
not a
with the
good
flood.
Start with the flood. Oh, our camp never really flooded.
No, but an entire section of the campgrounds is off limits because of a flood.
That's fair. We're also joined by Megara.
Yes.
Haha, got her on the internet.
But now China owns my face.
They
Yeah,
did
dude.
before, bitch.
It'll be okay. So, I'm going to start off with Dahirnar's tent then, because that'll transition in pretty nicely.
Yeah.
So, this would have been the first Ragnarok that we were a part of. I think that would have made it Rag 30. Yeah, I think it was Rag.
I was deployed, bud.
Yeah, I know. I'm using more to myself. It's either Rag 29 or Rag 30. Yeah, he was off in Afghanistan. So, here we are. It's one of our first rags as our own campsite. Alright? So, I've gotten there early, because I had to, because I'm the unit leader and camp master. So I had to... I had to be on site before anyone else, basically. So I've already set up. I've got our boundaries set up. Everything's nice, simple. people start trickling in, setting up their tents, and I'm doing what I can to direct people, give a hand where needed. Why are you sitting over there now? Okay, fine. All right. The issues of filming outside. Oh, hello, Teru. Welcome to the stream. All right, so here we are. I'm helping people set up, and Dehirnar shows up. All right, now Dehirnar, even back then, was a bit of a myth. Dehirnar, I'm not certain if he actually exists or not. He shows up at random and then disappears at random for highly variable amounts of time. So, at this point, he's pulled up in his nice car, and he's pulled out his tent. Now, it's not abnormal for the first couple times for people who have pretty small tents. So I didn't think much of it when he pulled out this, two-person backpacking tent. Alright, so this thing was maybe 6 feet long, maybe 3 feet, 4 feet. No, definitely closer to 3 feet wide by tall. It was like one of those perfect triangles. And this is tiny little thing. And I didn't think much of it until, he started pulling out, bags of snacks. Alright, just bundles of snacks. He had enough for the entire week, definitely, just to be munching almost constantly. That wasn't the issue. I kind of wish he hadn't wandered off, because this is the funny part. Okay, because then he pulls out a full-sized cot. Now, that's an issue, because this thing is about 2 feet tall, give or take. Now, I don't need to really go into the geometries of this, but the problem is that he's trying to put a rectangular peg into a triangular hole, basically. And it just won't fit. Now, I see this right away, and it's like, yo, Dehirnar, that's not going to fit. But he has put this cot up next to his tent, mind you. And has yet to see the problem. It's like, no, Aramil, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Keeps putting shit into his tent. After maybe 5 minutes of stuffing this poor tent, he then takes his cot and puts it in front of the tent and looks at it, tries to wiggle it a bit, tries to maybe tilt it, that will help, because the entrance is just about the same size as the rest of the tent. No amount of tilting is going to fix this. Eventually, after about 5 minutes, give or take, of him fiddling around, maybe, what if I flip it around? Maybe it'll go, no. He pauses. I may have an issue. Oh, really? Go on, Dehirnar. It's like, okay, it's alright. I've got a bigger tent at home that I can borrow from my dad. I'll just drive back, grab it, come back. And mind you, Ragnarok is not terribly far from us. It's, maybe an hour and a half drive. It sucks, but it's not so far that, it's a huge issue, especially when you've got a big problem like this. So he gets in his car, says he'll see us, later that evening, because it's still only mid-morning or so. And he drives off, and we don't see him again for about 6 months. Slight issue right there. So, we fast forward to, let's see, that would have been Saturday. So, fast forward to middle of the week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. It's been rainy. This is Ragnarok. It's been hot and muggy about 20% of the time, and it's been raining about 75% of the remainder, with a 5% chance of just being nice. So, everything's at least damp. Everything's very muggy, very hot. I think this is what convinced us to get our big pavilion. Because at this point, we've just got like a bunch of little, those 10 by 10 pop-ups that are just kind of lashed together in a very vain effort to try and keep our food supplies dry. So, here I am. I'm relaxing in camp. Why not? Might as well. It's not currently raining, so find some shade, have a good time. Also in camp, I believe it was Riket and Raziel. And they're off chatting. I'm not quite part of the conversation, but, you know, I'm nearby, close enough to listen in. And one of them says to the other, "You know what? I'm kind of hungry. Dinner's not going to be for another few hours. I kind of don't want to go to the camp store, you know, buy food." Takes a sip of whatever alcohol they had. Probably Riot Punch. Yeah, look at each other. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure I remember Dehirnar packing a lot of food. The other one's, you are correct. He definitely owes us for watching all of his stuff throughout Rag. Figuring that Dehirnar won't mind if a few of his snacks go missing, one of them wanders over to Dehirnar's tent. Now, the entrance to Dehirnar's tent is facing out of camp. So, there's me here, as it were, and then the tent, and then right on the other side of the tent is the first one. We'll say Riket was the first one to go out there. Riket opens the tent. Oh, good. You're back. So, after a week of rain, Dehirnar's tent. So, Riket opens Dehirnar's tent, probably for the first time that week. And he peers in, and I can, you know, here I am relaxing. Oh my god! Look up. Oh. What's going on? Raz then goes around to the other side of the tent. Like, oh my god! Well, now I have to get involved. Now, I don't know what to expect. There could have been a litter of raccoons in there. Anything. Alright. So I walk... Hello, Rodger. I walk around to the other side of the tent. Past... Bless you. Past...
Bless you.
You sneeze on
He
my
has
foot.
allergies. He has allergies.
Oh my. So I walk around to the other side of the tent, past Riket and Raz, and I peer in. And I repeat, oh my god, as there is a solid pool of water on the floor. Standing water, probably from the first night. And every other surface is absolutely covered in mold. A solid layer of mold on all the boxes of food, both of the backpacks, everything. It's just covered.
Can I say something?
You may.
If you don't know how to camp, say so. We'll help you.
Yeah.
We'll help ya.
I've been camping a long time.
Yeah.
Literally since I was 4.
Yeah, so just the moral of the story is don't abandon your tent the first day of Ragnarok.
And also speak up if this is your first time camping.
Well, there's that too. Definitely. And keep your shit dry.
Yeah.
That's
Keep your shit dry.
yeah,
Keep your
that was
shit dry.
that was actually quite an issue last year. Because it was again a Ragnarok. And there were people who got the beginning stages of trench foot.
One person.
I thought there were at least a couple.
Nope.
No?
It was D and only D.
It was only D?
Yes.
Cheers, D. Well done.
Which
Dry
still-
socks.
Yeah, which still makes me laugh. Change your socks.
Yeah, honestly.
That's all you gotta do.
Shit's bad, but it's not that bad.
Remember, no socks is better than wet socks.
Mm-hmm.
Our camp wasn't bad because we camp at the top of a hill.
And we have people that actively made sure dry was their only task.
Yeah. We had people, like, on hand just emptying the covers.
The
for
rickety
pop-up.
stool also had bubble problems, if you remember.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kerploosh!
Yeah, more than once. Just emptying the roofs. Just. Good job.
Oh, we got 20 gallons right here.
Yeah, right? That's some crazy stuff, too. But, Riket didn't want to do the stream until he had something to show for the rickety stool. So that'll be a special at some point in the future. I'm hoping that he'll actually start building it, but it's...
Money's the problem, as we all know.
Right.
So, let that be known. Donations are available if you want a cool bar.
Yeah, true. Like, anybody who donates, it'll go to the bar. Good. Glad you have some experience, Taylor. With camping.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have experience with glamping or camping?
Glamping.
Oh no, that's definitely what we do.
Oh, yes.
We have mini fridges. This is not harsh camping.
No, but I always prepare for harsh camping because of Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, it's a good thing to prepare for.
Yeah, like you should be packed and prepared and ready for a harsh Ragnarok. Always.
And then be
And-
pleasantly surprised.
And then
Right.
basically all the cool stuff comes down to is helping the unit. Like the unit provides all the cool hangout areas and cool shit, you know?
Right.
So you yourself, the only thing you need to prep for is make sure you're ready for the worst possible scenario. The unit worries about the rest of it, and we'll ask you to worry about something if we need you to, you know?
And when in doubt, have like a plastic bag full of just bug out clothes, so just t-shirt, pants, underwear, socks, and keep that in your car, along with the towel, just a spare towel. Much better. So I'm going to tell another camping story, a failure to prepare, or more a failure to communicate, actually. It's Raziel's tent.
It's just the takeoff story.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So this definitely was the first time that we had our own campsite, and I think this was the same rag. So again, I'm already there. I'm set up. My girlfriend at the time, we've all set up, done all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Worrying. And Roz gets there a little bit later, but still in good time. I forget what I was doing, but I was setting up something. So my girlfriend at the time helped him to set up his tent. So he went around. Let's see. He staked down the front of his tent and kind of tossed her the hammer to stake down the back of the tent. Now, apparently there was some miscommunication, because she did not, in fact, stake down the back of his tent. Instead, she just put the the tent poles, and set it up like that, but had failed to stake it down. Just a tail going by. So, this goes unnoticed. Roz gets his stuff, into his tent. All's good. At least he thinks so. Now here I am, in the center of our camp, feeling quite proud of myself, very pleased. This is day 0 of our first rag in our own campsite. And everything's fine. Things are getting set up where I need them to be. Shade is becoming available. All's well. And I look out into the distance, and I see this weird haze. Alright? And I'm just kind of staring at this, because it's kind of just, it's weird. It's just like on the horizon. When Roz, drops what he's carrying. "Brace yourselves!" he says, grabs the last of his shit, and ducks into his tent as this wall of 40 or 50 mile per hour wind slams into camp. And, we're running around, there's rain just pelting us. Yeah, it was bad. He was the only one who had any idea what was about to happen.
Brace yourself!
And we're grabbing shit, we're throwing it this way, that way, even if it was camp supplies, into that person's tent. Quick, just get it dry, keep it dry. Grab on. Oh, I think Riket and myself, we grabbed onto a pop-up tent so that it wouldn't go flying. And then I just kind of turn to look at Roz's tent as I hear the words, "Oh shit!" as the tent begins to lift off. Because, of course, the direction that the wind is blowing from is the back of his tent. "Oh shit!" he says, and just dives out of his tent, around the back, grabbing both hands. "Oh shit!" And just Riket and I just holding on for dear
You guys had a Twister moment, huh?
Oh yeah. At one point, Riket wrapped a tarp around himself to keep warm. We were just out there for so long, and just, "Are you okay, Roz? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!" That went on for weeks or months. Not quite. But that definitely went on for a solid couple hours. And he stopped screaming after the first, but any time when we asked if he was still there, he's still okay. "Oh shit!" He said that if he had lost weight before Rag, he would have parachuted into Mirkwood.
So, stake down your tents.
That's the moral of the story. Is even if you have help, it doesn't hurt to do a once-over of your own tent. And if you are helping somebody, make sure you know what they want your help with.
Also, something we've learned from experience is we try to design camp before we even get there,
This is also true. Nowadays, we want to have an idea on who's going to be where, doing what beforehand. So,
because we're essentially an army camp moving into and occupying an area to fight, so we gotta treat it like such.
Now, last year, we kind of had a hiccup because the rule was supposed to be, I would get there, but nothing gets set up until the unit structures are up. And this would have been fine if there hadn't been several mishaps on the road for the camp structures.
It took us 3 hours to get there.
Yeah, so twice as long as anybody else. So we had several people just waiting to set up their tents for them to arrive. So I think next year probably what's going to happen is as soon as the camp structures arrive, you drop what you're doing and you help set that up. I feel like that would be probably
We also
good.
have a lot better measurements. We know the measurements of everything now.
True, that helps. So,
And creating personal area for people's tents is always a challenge anyways. That's mostly done on site. We just kind of put you on a general area.
right. It's like, okay, you've got this 15 by 15 square.
Also, we try to ask that. We know nobody needs a tent bigger than like 10 by 10. Seriously. If you're getting a tent bigger than 10 by 10, what is wrong with you, mate?
I'm looking at a big ass tent to buy myself, but that's separate.
Okay, yeah, if you're getting a canvas tent, fucking whatever, that's different. You're part of the aesthetic. But if you got like a big ass camper tent, please let us know beforehand.
Right. We'll make you part of the wall.
Yeah.
Be good. Oh wait, we got Newman. I join in to brace yourselves. Perfect. Glad to have you, Newman. Sorry I didn't notice your comment. I turned the brightness up to max, but we're outside, so.
What's outside?
It's the big blue and green room. Yeah, without AC. Like the rest of my house. Anyways, let's see. What are some other good rag stories? Those were probably the cleanest of the cleanest two of mine.
You know, I would have rag stories if I remember them.
Well, there's that.
And I've never
Also,
been to
most of my rag stories I don't feel like sharing across the traceable internet.
Yeah, yeah. We're trying to not self-incriminate here.
Yeah.
Let's see. No.
Let's put it this way. My motto is birds up, heads down when it comes to rag.
Wise words. And also, Teru, a 6-person tent really isn't as big as you might think it is.
That's still only like an 8 by 10 probably.
Yeah, at most. So, it's well within normal, I'll be honest. Like, I've been using, I think it's...
You've been using a 10-person tent.
No.
I thought that TP was a 10-person.
I hope not.
Because remember, they stack that shit vertically like assholes.
Right, like...
Remember, there is no standardization for persons' tents.
Yeah.
It really, pay attention to the measurements of your tent. That's the only way you're going to get accurate information.
Honestly. Like... I think when they assume people, they're just like, how many people can we slide in side by side?
With no equipment.
Yeah, no equipment, no nothing, and just
And
one.
maybe these 3 sleeping on top of each other.
Yeah, let's stack them like firewood. It'll be good.
Remember, the persons is volume, not comfortability.
Yeah. Not comfort nor anything else. I guess a funny story, also about Roz's tent, actually. It would have been from our first rag. I don't know why I'm gesturing with a blade of grass. I just am. Deal with it. So, when we first went to rag, we camped with ADD and Camp Kickass. So, none of us, well, almost none of us had a really solid idea on what we were supposed to do or bring. If you guys are gonna goof off, at least do it like behind me
I know,
for the
right?
stream. Like, come on.
I'm not trying to distract people from your story.
Ah, that's fair. And just distract me from my story. That's fine. But, so, I had an inkling of what I was supposed to do because I had, I'd been to a few days of Ragnarok a couple years beforehand. And I'd tried to explain as much as I could, and I'd told as many stories as I could, but I mean, at the same time, I'm like maybe 20 at this point. Like, I have no idea.
So 7 years ago?
Yeah. Ugh. Anyways. So, I've got a decent 10. And unfortunately, Roz doesn't at this point. I forget what they're called, but basically, it's not a tent so much as it is a cover. There's no floor for Roz's tent.
Canopy.
Yeah, it's just a canopy, basically. It's like a closed-off canopy. Like,
Think of army camouflage tent, except for solid.
yeah, a bit like that. So it's like just big enough for himself and like this foot pad. Good? Okay. What are you? Never mind.
There's a dog.
Yeah. So it's big enough for himself, for this kind of covering that he's sleeping on, and I think he brought enough candy to make himself a nest. Like that was like part of his joke, is that, you know, he had a nest of just sweets. And he also brought, well, we called it a couch, but it was actually just like the back seating of a van. Yes. Which just kind of existed outside of his tent. Yes. So there was just this love seat.
He was trying to glamp so hard.
Kind of just.
Trailer park glamping.
Yeah, pretty much trailer park glamping. I remember he and Enialis spent a fair amount of time just kind of hanging out. Now, what he hadn't accounted for was the fact that inclement weather exists at Ragnarok. Now, it wasn't that bad that year, actually. Just watch your step, but there's a bumblebee to your right. Yes. It wasn't that bad, but it still rained at least once, which was bad news bears for the person who didn't have a floor. Roz had a small...
Has like a solid patch of pollen on its leg.
Roz had a small stream go through his tent that year. I don't know what to tell you, but always have a tent that actually connects all the way around. Alright? You don't want that shit getting in. You don't want any shit getting in except you and anything else that you want to get in. Because that makes sense. Not a tautology, I swear. Looking at live stream. Hey, we got 3 concurrent viewers. That makes me happy. For those of you who saw my first podcast and maybe looking at your watch thinking this guy's going to keep talking for how long, I'm decided basically to extend this one, make it a longer podcast, especially since I have guests.
What?
What?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any good dag stories in general that won't incriminate yourself?
Ooh, I actually do. Baby Megan used to hang out with the Urukai that are actually based in Wellington, my hometown. Well, I wasn't actually part of their unit. I was just a punk-ass little girl just trying to make friends. And so I don't know what kind of weapon I picked up. Let's just call it a sword. And my friend at the time, who's now in the Marine Corps, yeah. I sneak up behind him, and because I am the little shit I am, I haul off full softball style and smack him straight on the back.
Oh no.
What I wasn't prepared for was the solid hit I took to the forehead.
Rebound.
Straight to the face. And it was, honestly, it's a testament to like pad your weapons because it didn't hurt so much that I was convinced for a solid second it didn't happen.
Wait, so you just followed...
Until Brett, my best friend at the time, was like, "Way to go, Megan! Just hit yourself in the fucking face."
So you swung through like a base.
Boom.
Yeah, because you let follow through happen, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, because it was a full softball swing. Never do that.
Yeah, no, there's rebound with these weapons.
Yeah, no, there's a definite rebound, and it just straight in half. Like if it was a real sword, I would have just been perfectly cut in half. It was gonna be great.
EA. It's in the face.
It's in the face.
All right. Nah, I shouldn't tell that one. Never mind.
Uh-oh. Well, now it has to happen.
All right. I want to preface this by saying I have friends in Antioch who are amazing people. Okay. I've successfully prefaced. Now, the problem with Antioch is that, well, there are a couple, but they really, really, really like their reds. So these are two-handed swinging weapons. That's a quick reminder. Yeah, and they like to do that. Now, to be fair, when you're surrounded by 20 of your closest friends also swinging reds, there's not a huge amount of angles that you can successfully just pull off.
Especially when you're in a shield wall, because their unit was like 70 strong.
Yeah, it's something ridiculously large.
So when they showed up to Ragnarok last year, they had 75 campers and like 60 or 65 fighters.
Yeah.
So when they showed up to the field, they had an entire unit, shield wall, reds, spears, all to themselves.
Right.
So they just walked up on whoever they wanted to and just 12 o'clock people all day long.
Yeah.
Not saying it was by choice. It's just when you're in that tight of a formation, there really isn't much other swinging range.
Right. So, the problem is that, unlike a lot of groups, which will have a healthy mixture of all sorts of different weapons, leaning especially towards, like, shields, Antioch leaned very heavily into their reds. Like, I'm sure there were a few shieldmen, but not many. I know there was at least one archer. Big Mac definitely did archery. But I don't know if anybody else in Antioch did, actually.
Couldn't tell you, mate.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention that much, yeah?
Yeah. So, the other issue for Antioch is their unit symbol is like a triangle with like 3 dashes into a side. So it definitely looks like an off-brand version of the EA. So after a couple days of them taking the field and just wailing on people and honestly causing a lot of headshots, intentionally or not going to judge, it became a common, it's almost a verbal meme. Just, EA, it's in the face! Just, it got to the point where even Rome was repeating that, which lets you know that it's traveled far. Yeah. Like, we camped right next to, I almost said EA, right next to Antioch. They were literally barrier to barrier up with us. And this was fine, especially since a lot of our friends in Antioch were right on that line anyways. So our friend Big Mac over there even had his own little secret gate into Nardu. So it was just this little gap in the fences where he could sneak into our camp for like a drink or something. Big Mac's a good guy.
Or anti-crawling under orc camp
Oh,
and stealing their coals.
That's a completely different story. But yeah, word to the wise. if you're going to rag, try to be known for something good. Definitely your first rag or two, try to make friends first, and then do excessively stupid things. It's pretty good. Yeah, just have a reputation already built up for being, helpful, being good. A shout out to Rin, one of our possibly most dedicated volunteers that I've had the pleasure of calling a unit member. She's volunteered so many hours at Meg Tent. I'm pretty sure she's part of just like the top 3 medics at RAG now, something like that. Top 4 maybe. But she actually was invited to stay at medic camp this RAG, so I assume next RAG, and actually had her RAG paid for, just because she volunteered that much. So there's a sub-moral for the stories. Volunteer, at least once. At least once a RAG, I'd say. You want to have a solid volunteering streak. It doesn't have to be medic. There's...
I owe people heralding. I literally traded my services for mercenary work.
Oh, yeah, to Eclipse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can volunteer to be a herald. I know if Crixus is still here in the chat, shout out to you for heralding a lot at RAG. Proud of you, bud.
They know you by name, finally.
Yeah, right. Let's see. This year I was going to help on, is it security or watch?
It's fucking people that drive around in go-karts.
Yeah, sure, right. Either way, I was going to volunteer for a couple of those shifts.
The people that tell you you're doing things wrong. That's...
I guess, yeah. It's security. Yeah. For better or worse, security. Hey, Rodger.
Nope, come here. Now.
Come here. Yeah.
Staying put, bud.
There we go. Megara's going off for, what, a snack run or something?
Yeah, food.
Yeah. So, Rodger wants to go with Mom. Oh, let's see here. If anybody... It helps if I turn this on. If anybody in the chat has a favorite story that they want to hear, let me know. Our second guest should have been here by now, and I'm kind of peeved that he isn't. I'm not gonna lie. Does he expect 30 to 40 minutes an hour ago? That's pretty on point for him, though, to be honest. Oh well. Let's see here. What are some other good stories?
Oh, fuck. Where's my character sheet?
Well, do you have any good D&D stories? This doesn't have to be all day. Speaking of character sheets, we're going to D&D later, so first session, and I'm not DMing this time, so I'm excited because I have a lot of ideas for stories, and by that I mean a lot of cool settings. Not always great plots. Oh, hello, Vera. Good to see you.
What?
What? She says, hello.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Rodger.
Okay, you done being a dick? Be free.
Rodger, you want to come over here? You want to come over here? Yeah. Yes. Oh, look at this boy. Look at this precious boy. There we go. Oh.
Shut up, bird.
The wonders of streaming outside. I actually probably have a better Wi-Fi connection here than in my room, to be honest.
I guess so. I hate looking at myself.
Yeah. That's why I won't watch this stream myself. I hate my own voice. It's honestly that's why I have such difficulty editing videos and putting up more videos. I do not like to listen to my own voice. We will
Give that lad some back.
yes. We'll give Rodger some love as soon as he wanders back.
He's chilling in the driveway at the moment.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I thought he was just off. I couldn't see him. Ooh,
The cult of Bob.
ooh, there he is. Hail, Bob.
Hell, Bob.
So, Wobbly Bob, the one true god, rose a couple of years ago when Raziel decided to make an impulse. I don't know. Was it an impulse buy?
No, it was planned.
It was planned? Okay. So he bought a massive inflatable unicorn floaty. Unicorn Pegasus floaty. It has wings. I know there's a special term for that, but I don't know. How big do you think that is? You're probably better at estimating.
It's probably a 20-foot boat.
Yeah, it's like...
Recite the commandments.
I don't remember. I think we'll get to the commandments. But yeah, it's something like 15, 20 feet long by 7, 8 feet wide. And the head of it's easily 8 or 9 feet.
But, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So this is a massive inflatable. It's got seating for like 8 people, a built-in like cooler area, cup holders, this whole 9 yards. And it's just this massive inflatable rainbow-colored boat, just so that we can take it from our camp, which is probably the farthest point, all the way down to the river. So you can just drink and relax on the river however long you want. And of course, I don't know, was it already a god by the time we got to Rag, or did
No, it developed into a god.
Yeah. Well, we started a cult, basically, about Wobbly Bob, the one true god. Hail Bob.
Hell, Bob.
So anytime somebody says Hail Bob,
Hell, Bob.
you extend your middle finger on your left hand and put it to your forehead. So it's just a couple, yes. So it's just this massive thing, which we only partly had room for in our camp. So it's kind of like at the front of our camp. Like, it is definitely the first thing anybody would see walking anywhere near our camp. It's just the face of Bob staring out at you. Oh, cool, Riket's back. We'll see if he remembers any of the commandments.
I'll go make him forget real quick.
Oh, fuck you. So over the course of the week, this cult of Bob just slowly grows, much like mold onto Hirnar's food supplies. It just continues to just stack in and on itself, becoming more and more ridiculous and amazing. At one point, there was some sort of like tour guide going around Ragnarok, and it's just like, okay, on your left you see the Urukai camp, and on your right you'll see Wobbly Bob, the one true god. Yes, and some dude in like full plate mail, just yes, perfect. A worthy cause I can devote my sword to. And he knelt before Bob. And Roz just came out and like sprinkled him with the blood of Bob, which is like, it's a mixture. You are blessed by Bob. Continue. I'm pretty sure that happened. I know that the warrior prostrating himself, but I'm pretty sure he also got sprinkled by the blood of Bob. That or he drank some. I can't quite recall. it was quite a time. So, the commandments of Bob were an exhaustive list. And I know, what was this? Naranan, or Naranan, Naranan, had the full list on his phone at one point, and it was like 20 commandments, something like that. Honestly, I can't remember them all. I actually can only remember one off the top of my head, and it was all light switches shall be dimmer switches. And that's just the kind of thing that... Oh, yeah. And the blood of Bob itself, the holy drink of Bob. Yeah. As Vera mentioned, tequila and Everclear. I think the only actual requirement for it to be blood of Bob was alcoholic and delicious. Something along those lines. I really had hoped for this to be a 1-hour podcast, and so far we're doing pretty good. Trying to see. The shadows have unfortunately shifted, so I'm losing my ability to see the screen. We're at 51 minutes. Okay, cool. Oh, fuck. What happened? Are we still live streaming? I really hope we are live streaming. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. What's going on? Can't see shit. Oh, fuck. Use. Oops. All right. Oh. All right. Oops. Hopefully that worked. Sorry about that. I had a slight issue with my computer, I guess. And that'll teach me for trying to clean the screen or wipe away the screen while I'm live streaming, especially while I have a touch screen.
Rodger.
Let's see here.
No.
We good? We good? I think we're good. Hello, Riket. I goofed, unfortunately, and I smacked the screen the wrong way. So hopefully everything is back.
Beautiful son of a bitch.
Yes, he is.
I'm talking to you, beautiful man. Share over there for you.
Like I said, I'm making sure we're all set up.
We're just missing an Enialis.
Right?
Bastard.
I'm going to quickly...
I mean, what do you expect? After all, this is for Ragnarok.
Ooh, truth.
Ow, man.
Damn.
You gotta throw that much truth around.
Hey, I just miss him.
Yeah, me too.
If there is anyone who should have been at Ragnarok, it's
Right.
Enialis.
Right. Okay.
Like, when you and I are there, Sam's too good to be part of the Musketeers of Trouble. You know what I mean? We need an Enialis. We need that other crazy white dude.
I'm hoping that this is...
Anti was a good fit.
Anti was a good fit. That's why he climbs under work camps and steals their coals.
Right. Teru.
My goodness. Oh, talk about a first Ragnarok.
Bro, he had one, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I
He's
hope...
back in Ohio.
Yeah, I heard.
That's what I heard.
He's working at Genius.
Oh, so he's local?
Let's see.
Okay. Oh.
Should we scoot back, you think?
Why?
So
Of the
that,
sun.
yeah, everything's back in the shade. So I'm just gonna bring this back. That way I might actually be able to see the screen.
Like we should have drinks.
I had a drink, but... I mean, if you want to go get drinks, be my guest. Right. Well, I mean, I'm just resetting the stream, unfortunately. That's what I get for trying to clean the screen off midstream.
Everybody's kind of like,
Where'd he go? What'd it do? Hopefully, we are working again. It just does not look... doesn't look quite right, but hoping people return. Stream was alright, but the camera froze.
Beautiful.
Alright, let's see. Sorry, anybody in the future or currently watching, just trying to communicate with Teru to see if stream is up, back, etc. Why does it say that? Okay. Got it, thank you. Yeah, but why does it say that stream is live if I'm already... Oh well, this is the issue. Oh, okay. So, if somebody could say something in the chat real quick to make sure... Good. Because at the moment, it doesn't look like anybody's watching, so I'm very confused. He's here. Megara back? Yeah, probably.
Hey, go get Mama.
Sorry. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So you all can hear me now, even though I've doing this, I guess. Oh, okay, yeah, it apparently is. Oh well, this is the issue. Oh, okay. So if somebody could... Yeah, cool. Alright, fair enough. I don't know. Alright, whatever. Works for me. I thought I had to just restart everything and do that back up, but you know what? If this works, it works. Though my live chat has disappeared, so I guess I'm just going to go over to here. Ask Riket if he has ever used Butterfly PT.
Butterfly PT. I thought you said PT, like physical training.
Right.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Butterfly PT. I mean, I guess if you're doing pull-ups.
Right? But...
No, I've never heard of that shit. Homie.
Yeah. I can't say that I have either.
Oh, is it the butterfly Peruvian tea?
Like,
They're talking about like some blue ass fucking tea.
Maybe,
Is that what you're talking about, Gabby?
Oh.
Uh-oh. I hear another vehicle.
Oh my goodness. He might actually have arrived.
Wow.
He's only an hour late. Is it him? Okay, that's fair. Okay, let's see. What are some other good rag stories that aren't incriminating? Oh, I was still talking about Wobbly Bob, though. Right. Let's see. Do you have any good stories about Wobbly Bob, or do you remember any of
No
the...
butts on Bob.
No butts on Bob. That's right. One of the commandments was no butts on Bob. And this was because... Oh, nice.
Skinny dippers.
Yeah, this is because there was an issue with skinny dippers, apparently, near where we were. And we wanted to make sure that security knew that it wasn't us doing the skinny dipping. Because that's not allowed through rag rules. You're allowed to be naked as long as your camp, either you're in your own tent, obviously, or if your camp allows it and you have a full, like, was it 8-foot wall?
Children?
What? Hello!
Sorry, I forgot. Carl had to ask his parents before coming here. I told Levi, go get Carl. He can come too.
Okay.
You brought children?
Yeah, my son.
Bullshit.
Come meet him. He's right over here.
What? Hey guys.
You can't swear anymore.
Yeah, now I'm gonna feel bad about swearing.
Megan!
Yeah.
Thanks!
Alright, hey guys.
That's my son.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Rodger.
son.
Rodger, yes.
Hey, Rodger. Hey, Rodger.
Oh,
Hey, Rodger.
let's
How's it
see.
going?
Good. We've missed you.
We're midstream, bud.
Yeah.
Stream.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about rag stories, homie.
Oh, good.
There's a chair
Do
saved
you guys,
for you.
do you guys want to sit and listen to the rag stories?
Here, guys. If you, let's see. Here, clear up.
Oh,
Here, I can plug it into my laptop if you want.
that works.
Yeah. It's got a USB cord. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Take a sip, guys.
Hey, Greg. Are you...
No.
Okay.
All right.
But if you're offering one, just one.
There we go.
Oh,
Get over here.
I was looking
Come
at
here.
the wrong side.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
Yeah. So this is Enialis. Some people might
Oh,
not
yeah.
even recognize him. A lot of people probably don't even recognize him at all. May never met him. But you hear about his stumble quest at one time or another. Which I'm not allowed to tell because that's self-incriminating. So we're not going to put that on YouTube. Hey, Rodger, come here. Let's see. Do you remember any good rag stories, Enialis?
Let me think.
Or any good dag stories that aren't self-incriminating, perhaps?
I'm trying to sift through it.
Okay.
They're all pretty incriminating.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fireflies.
Yeah.
The fireflies are out already? I haven't seen a single one this year.
I saw a few of them last night. It was rather cathartic.
Close to Cleveland now, so
Yeah.
that's why. Man,
That's so unfortunate. I'm
not self-incriminating.
Oh, I like how that's a sticker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, All right, let's see. Well, there was the Warhead challenge. Do you remember?
Vaguely, I spent a lot of it drunk.
All right, so here we are at the unit's first Ragnarok. Again, we're camping with ADD and Camp Kickass. Okay. So,
Spokes.
I'll let you. Do you want to tell Spokes? Okay.
You're better at it.
Okay.
You're better at it. It's Spokes.
All right. Well, then after this one, we'll tell Spokes. I hope AshenRa and Riket get back. So here we are, a few days into the camping, and our hosts say that they're going to have a Warhead challenge. Poor Crixus, all right, decided that he wanted to be a part of that. So all the contestants sat down with their backs to each other. Okay.
I'm checking the wind.
Okay, fine. They then had a bowl of warheads placed in front of them. And the challenge was the person who could put the most warheads into their mouth without swallowing them or just gagging them up wins. Seems simple, right? Wrong. Or at the very least, it's not good.
They made it not simple.
Yeah. It was a rough time, a very entertaining time to watch, as just ready, set, go, and people just shoving warheads into the mouth, which is entertaining for the first couple minutes. And poor Crixus. Now, Crixus is a relatively big guy, all right? So not fat, just actually large. He's like 6.5 feet tall.
I'd say around 240.
Yeah, something
Healthy
like
240.
right.
Semi-healthy.
So he, of course, has a proportionally sized mouth and can fit. I think he got up to 50 warheads into his mouth. Something like 40, 50 warheads. Wow. Just shoved them in there, and he looked like a chipmunk. All right. And after a couple minutes, and the winner. It was declared that he finally won, and I think he won by a landslide too. The next person had 15, 16, something like that. At which point, Crixus got up, went to the edge of the camp, and just disgorged this whole mass of warhead, saliva, and blood as the inner lining of his mouth had just been completely destroyed by the acid that all of these warheads had. And he's just gasping. And
dedication.
Yeah, I think it was either Armory or Arsenal came up and was like, congratulations, here, drink this. And Crixus takes this drink, which he thinks is water. It was not water. It was definitely the strongest alcohol ever clear. It was just Everclear. Oh, thank you.
How you doing? Let me stand up.
It's already open.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Is it just Dr.
Oh yeah,
Pepper?
that's my
or-
son.
Oh, it's not
That's
just
my
Dr.
son
Pepper.
Levi. And this is Carl. They're joining us today. I told them
Oh, that is
they
definitely not
could
just
fight
Dr.
a little
Pepper.
bit. I was going to teach them if you guys wanted to help.
Oh, yeah.
No, it definitely isn't just Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, no. What else in here?
Blackberry Brandy.
Blackberry Brandy.
It's
All right.
David's little brother, not my actual son.
Okay.
I was gonna say.
I was wondering when somebody was gonna like actually question it.
You know, dude, with you, I don't.
Do you remember that old story
I
about
just
you
accept
reproducing by
the
budding?
bullshittery.
I do.
Reducing my buddy.
I do.
Yeah, there was.
In the woods.
Yeah, there was a joke about how Enialis here went out back and
Don't
practiced
drink
reproducing by budding, and just would.
Took a lot of straining and focus.
Yeah,
Good core workout.
yeah, exactly.
It's like being stuck on the toilet. But
And they,
Good core
it
workout.
comes out of your pores.
Is it
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah, and
Most
he
people
only
don't
taught
know
them
that.
how to hop and swear.
when you
So
reproduce by
Blackberry
budding,
Brandy
it's
Let's
pores
see.
that really.
Just want to make sure.
Steam rooms help beforehand.
Careful, he smells like poo poo. I don't know what he was rolling in.
Let's
but he
see.
was rolling in something.
Could somebody
I hope
say
he's
something
down,
in
like,
the live stream to make sure that we are still
So I
golden,
think
please?
he's okay.
Pet his head, just don't pet his back.
All right.
I think he's okay. For the most part.
Maybe he ate something and it's in his teeth.
All right.
Maybe he like ate a turd and it's stuck in his teeth.
No, he was definitely rolling around in the
Talking
leaves.
about a dog, by the way.
Yeah. Oh.
You know what's hot?
The sun.
Everything.
The sun is hot, bud. That's why we're trying to stay in the shade.
Not working too well.
Nah, but you know, we'll live.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
11? 14?
Yeah, that's why they're not in the camera. There's some big issue about actually having children on a stream or something, or on a YouTube
You have
video.
to watch what you say because if something inappropriate pops up in a video that involves children, they'll
Right.
come after you. Whoop. That's why I checked
Okay,
the wind.
we're
It's
still
raining.
good.
Try not to
Thanks,
kill
Smokey.
you. So what about spokes?
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. That's got to be.
You want to tell that one?
You want to
Okay.
move that bench over there for you guys?
I would botch the story, or else I would.
All right. I will do my best to tell the spoke story. Okay, thanks, guys. With the
Oh, thanks, man.
preface of saying that I wasn't there for most of it, so almost all of this is secondhand.
I'll chime in.
Both of these guys were there, mind you.
I was plastered.
Riket just ever so slightly off screen,
Like
except for your
always.
knee. Fuck you.
Oh, you're right. I need to be out of screen.
No, it's a great
Hey.
way to break the chair. So let's see here. Spokes. How best?
Spokes.
Yes. So, was it Riket, Enialis, and Roz? We're just sitting around one day. Again, it's our first Ragnarok, so we're camping with Kick-Ass.
Oh no! Wait, here I'll get the setting right.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
sorry. So this was about midnight, 1 a.m. Possibly
The
2.
first time it came out?
For the story, the
You have
first
to
time.
remember, then, that a lot of our
We didn't know
nights at
spokes.
Ragnarok also ended at dawn.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, we
Birds
didn't,
up, heads down!
we didn't
Yep.
know of spokes before this. This was our first.
Okay.
meeting
Then I'll be
with
right back.
spokes. Yeah,
You said the story.
I'll start it. Yep. So. Take this seat. All right. So it was about, I'm just gonna say midnight or so, and we were inside the camp, drinking, having a fire, normal shenanigans, and off in the distance we hear, "Hail camp!" And we go, "Hail!" Let them come in, just see who that voice belongs to.
Yeah, it's our first Ragnarok. Just come on in. Let's meet
We don't-
another new person.
We don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So this guy stumbles in and goes, "Spokes." We all look at him and greet him. "Hello. Would you like to come join us?" "Some spokes." This guy is plastered beyond belief. It's rare to see somebody this drunk and still walking. He was like a zombie. And this was when he first got there. It gets better. So, let's see. So introductions was just a lot of, "My name's Spokes," and us trying to figure out who he was and what he was doing there. And
All he did, though, was just continue reintroducing himself over
Yep.
and over again.
Yep. So it's midnight. We let him in, and he is reintroducing himself over and over again, and completely ignoring our questions.
All right. So,
Thank you.
do
Hold up chair right there.
you remember which of the contests came first?
Oh.
Because this is a very competitive man, you see.
Competitive drunk.
Competitive drunk, especially. Oh, was it the fighting? I think it was the fighting.
I think it did start off just with him wanting to fight.
Did
Yeah.
his bets.
Yeah, it was something like, he looked at one of you and was like, I want to kill you.
Oh yeah, that was scary. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't know he was talking about dagger here. He just
Yeah.
said, "I want to kill you."
Yeah, so he just eventually just,
You are Hela, and I'm Thanos.
okay. Let's see. And eventually gets through that, this guy wants to spar with them and not just take them out. So, it's just pretty general sparring for a while.
That's when Arsenal stepped up, right?
Yeah, I think,
At some point, we had to. He wouldn't stop fighting.
yeah.
It was a lot in a row. So I think it was you actually.
Hmm?
Either you or Rich. Somebody picked up the spear. And just kind
No, that was Arsenal.
That was Arsenal, yeah.
That was definitely Arsenal.
All right.
Um,
He finished off the sparring after he got, irritated and just tried to,
Yeah,
burn him
just
out of camp.
shepherding this guy off down the road. Just shoot. Even time. It's like, stop it, you're cheating, stop, spokes. So, what, and he came back later then.
No, there's one more
Or no?
thing, one more set of things that happened before he left camp.
Right, and I was trying to figure out, where that
So
came in.
This was when
Started with the race.
started with
the race.
competitions of physical ability. He was challenging everybody to one at a time.
Yeah, so as you can see, Enialis here is a pretty stringy guy, kind of a beanpole. This is who, me?
Yeah, crackhead.
Hey. So, Spokes looks across this open field that we were across the street from.
To the highway.
Yeah, and in the distance you can just see the lights of the highway. Reaches into his pants, grabs a huge wad of cash, slaps it into Enialis' hands, and says, I bet I can run to the highway and back before you. Spokes! Takes off, gets a solid, 30 yards,
At least.
just ground.
I'm holding this guy's money that he handed me before he took off running into the dirt.
How much was it? It was like,
250,
Two-
250. It was all
Yeah.
his money.
yeah.
He basically mugged himself.
Yeah.
He handed over his money, ran over, and then seemed to fall unconscious in a field.
It's just- so this guy's dead to the world, as far as he cares, and just gave poor old Enialis here several hundred, significantly richer Enialis here, a fair amount of money.
I had to fight the urge to keep it.
Yeah, and to your credit, you just look at this money and it's like, I can't. I just can't. And goes up, finally. Spokes. I'm Spokes. Here you go, bud. Good job. You won. Spokes.
This is about when we figured out exactly how drunk this guy was.
I honestly didn't believe that he was drunk at first.
I thought he was role playing or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought that he was on something else as well as being drunk. Like, I could not fathom that a person could get this drunk and maintain consciousness.
Right.
You've never seen Soldier's Party.
Apparently.
This guy was not conscious. His body was alive.
Yeah, that's
I've seen plenty of people like that.
fair.
I've gotten like that once.
I've been there.
Wish we
So I
had
don't remember being there.
Huh?
I might have.
I
being there.
remember I walked you home.
That's how
No,
I
you
broke
didn't.
that kid's
Oh, yeah,
ribs
Matt.
one time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got you to the tree line, and then Ring got you inside. That was fun.
Shin kick
So,
to the fucking sternum.
After his race, we thought he was done.
Nah.
But he got a second win, and he wants to challenge people to a push-up contest.
So Riket
So
here.
We point at Riket.
Yeah, I think
He's good at push-ups. Challenge him.
I remember he was still
Oh.
challenging you, Enialis, and you just went, "Here, I will elect Rich.
Yeah.
Yep.
Riket
Here,
will be
guys.
your."
I'm not a push-up guy.
Guys, Vera has a good question. Anybody have any idea how old Spokes was?
I'd say
He's like-
late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, he was significantly older than we were at the time. So
You guys would have been babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could have been easily like early to mid-20s at
Old
the time.
enough
and
to know
seemed
how to
older.
drink.
Yeah.
Oh, there- right.
Or at least old enough to know how, like, should
How
know
to
how to
survive.
drink. Yeah.
He's a cockroach.
It's gone.
I mean,
Uh,
he is quite the survivor.
yeah,
But we'll get to that later.
right. Now, he was at least mid-20s, I'm gonna say. So everybody gets ready for those push-ups, and it's like go, and we can just pushing them down, pushing them out, just no problem. All right, this is like when you were first really into working out, wasn't it? It's like somewhere. Yeah, you were like in the middle of kung fu.
Which would have been after a couple of years of weightlifting and calisthenics.
Yeah,
Push-ups
so
were like running for him.
yeah, it was just no problem. He's getting like 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. Yeah, he's not breaking a sweat. Meanwhile, hey guys, could you turn that down a bit? Thank you. He gets to the point where Spokes is just one, and he falls down, ostensibly to reset for number 2, except he pauses, and ever so softly, you're snoring. Spokes! And Spokes 2!
Pokemon. But
Down, again, soft snoring. Riket over here, just on like
Pumping him
40, 50. I think, did he get to 3? I don't know if he got to 3 before you just got bored.
I know he didn't touch 5.
He definitely didn't get
No,
to 5.
it was 2.
It was,
he did
it was
2.
It was 2? Okay.
Riket was counting.
I don't know how many I've done, but it's more than that. And then eventually, the third challenge, because you guys had gotten tired of him at this point.
We were also worried for
Yeah.
him.
That was close.
So that became the water drinking contest.
Aha! Spokes, I challenge you to a water drinking contest. You're on!
We had to hydrate this guy because he was not looking that good.
Right.
See, now this is
Figured
the
he
true.
was-
This is the true moral of the story.
Figured
Is
he
to
was
Hydrate.
is to know how to trick drunk people into hydrating.
We
very
figured his body was about 50% alcohol, 20-something% water, and the rest, whatever else? I forget.
Cigarettes.
But cigarettes. He had a lot of cigarettes.
So, Arsenal
Actually, he had
That's-
none. He just had stew.
gives us some water. Yeah, he has some water. Alright, you ready? You ready? I'm Spokes! I'll take that as a yes. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, first,
Oh.
Arsenal's just kind of
Oh yeah, pretending to drink.
pretending to drink, and Spokes actually
No.
catches him.
You drink too. Fine, whatever. So they both drink and go!
This
shit's watery! Yes, Spokes.
He thought it was
It's a
gonna be like
water drinking
vodka.
contest. Oh yeah! Just go, Sam. Smart mom,
At some
Riket.
point after that, he actually left. I don't know how. I don't remember.
I think that's when, after that, is when Arsenal shepherded him away with a spear, right?
I don't
No.
remember.
No?
I'm pretty sure Spokes just wandered off into the darkness again, just like he entered.
Okay, just
He got what he needed.
off into a plot hole.
nourishment. So
Yeah.
he could continue his journey.
Just water in, legs go. Alright,
Oh,
But-
that's the fairy, and he
I'll
left.
tell this part.
okay,
This
later.
This was great. So, it was about 5 in the morning. Everybody else was asleep. The
Four.
Rozzy.
It was before even that pre-dawn glow.
Yep.
So like 4 a.m.
Early. Late early.
Still nighttime.
Yeah. So we were keeping the fire going, and Roz and I were getting tired, and we decided to try and cook sausages in the dark. Raw sausages in the dark. On a gas Coleman grill, propane grill.
Yeah.
And,
No flash. Well,
we had
half
a
of a
phone
flashlight.
light. A phone light. Like
No,
this.
it was one of those crank ones.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah,
was,
even
it
worse.
Sucked. It was like a phone light. That was difficult. They were raw by the time we tried to eat them, and we said, screw it, ate them anyways, and we didn't get sick.
Mind
But,
you all, this was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So was it? No, it had to be like 7.
Ragnarok 29? Or, yeah.
I thought it was 28. I think
28. Whatever my first or second one was.
It was definitely your first rag.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't have been there if we were underage, right?
Yeah, you couldn't have been less than 18.
Okay.
But Dehirnar was 17. And that was an
That
issue.
was a problem.
Hey, if it
Yeah.
helps, I'm 25 next week. So, 18 to 25.
So yeah, it was 7 years
Wow.
ago. Yeah.
Well,
Or
so
No,
6.
Yeah, then it would have been 6
I
years ago.
would have had to have been 18 at this time.
Right.
I'm so bad with time. Last year I forgot my birthday.
Fair.
Around this time I was
Oh,
sitting
it's 21 already?
at a bar. Someone
I mean,
asked, said
wasn't much
something
of a
about
milestone for you.
26.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, it's
This
my
is the first
birthday.
alcohol I've drunk in I don't know how many months now.
Very appropriate that you're doing it at like,
The Rag Memorial.
Ragnarok, yeah.
Yeah.
but also at like 1 p.m. while talking about Ragnarok. Right. That's day drinking.
Ragnarok.
So yeah.
Day drinking.
Yeah. So
Story.
4 a.m. 4 a.m.
It's myself, Roz, and Roz were trying to figure out the sausage situation, and we hear spokes real quiet in the distance, and then we hear spokes, and then we go hail because we just figured he was trying to get in.
Like some Pokemon
And
clawing at the door.
he stumbles in holding a can of beef stew and a box of cigarette filters. And
That's it. I mean, he also had one of those machines for getting your cigarette,
I think
the fill.
I just remember
Right?
looking.
I'm not certain. Okay.
I thought
He was ill prepared.
Yeah, I thought the beef stew was like a can of tobacco.
Right.
It was beef stew.
As one
And
would.
he came over and asked us what we were doing. Tried to, well, in his way, he was trying to communicate and hang out. So
I think he's speaking words.
I forget how the exchange went exactly, but he stopped, set his stuff down to roll himself a cigarette, and he looks in his hand and he goes, "Beef stew," and then he stumbles off.
Wasn't
looking
it?
for his tobacco.
Yeah, it was like, is this yours? Nah. Is it yours? No, you brought that with you.
Beef stew.
Beef stew. Dinty Moore's beef stew. Where's my tobacco? And then just, grabbed all this stuff and just wandered off.
I think he
Magical.
was trying to figure out his evening. He used more words then. I didn't think about that until just now. I always thought he was worse at this point, but I think he was just sobering up and trying to figure out what reality was.
I think I was over here at some point. Yeah. Yes, you were.
He found his way back.
Amazing. And it's apparently
That was the last that we saw of him.
the last we saw, but not the last we heard.
He needs
No.
protected.
Yes.
So apparently, in real life, Spokes works in roofing. And a few weeks after Ragnarok, he falls off like this second-story roof and goes into a complete coma.
I think it was higher.
Was it higher?
I remember thinking he should be dead.
Yeah.
I think that's because he basically landed on his head.
Yeah. It's just
Bad
coma.
fall.
Yeah.
Completely
bad.
comatose.
Probably would have killed anybody.
Yeah. Any sane person should probably have died. And the
But
doctor...
Spokes is made of stronger stuff.
Way to loop back.
So,
Good callback.
Yeah, good callback. Here we are, and just the doctor says he's gone, and if he did wake up, he's basically a vegetable.
Comatized.
Yeah, he's done.
He's not going to be able to walk. He's likely to be paralyzed if he ever comes out of the coma.
Jesus shit.
However,
Yeah, but Spokes is a fucking cockroach. So the nurse comes in like a week later to find him sitting up on his bed, tweeting, "Just got out of a coma. LOL, hit me up."
so he's fine.
He's fine. We don't know where he is or what he's doing. I don't think he's ever come back to Rag, as far as I'm aware.
Have you guys put up a PSA on the Rag website? Like, anybody here from Spokes?
Worried.
Maybe we
We
should.
need wanted posters that makes Ragnarok.
Anybody seen Spokes?
Still have to
What?
make the beef stew trophy.
Yes, wanted alive, cannot be killed.
One immortal Spokes.
Reward, can of beef stew.
Dinty voice.
On that note, I want everybody to start putting their brains together for a quest board.
Quest board, yes. Quest boards do need to happen.
I will run it if y'all bring me ideas. I chill in camp most of the time anyways.
Same,
Ooh,
so I can help.
We add
What?
something about Shatterhaze needs to be on it.
Quest board.
I don't know
For
about
next
doing
drag.
anything necessarily with people. Specific,
Huh?
like individual people.
You show up to...
Camps would be better
Alright.
because that's easier to find. We need to make sure that
Rich, if you're sitting off screen, sit over there.
I'm gonna chill in camp. I don't fight.
It's fine.
Alright,
Yeah.
so, for those who don't know what a quest board are,
Quest board are.
What a quest
Is-
board are.
Is. Same thing. No, it's not.
are? Why not?
Because you said what a quest board are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
and you don't
did,
find
babe.
the issue with this.
No.
Fuck you.
Oh.
Keep talking.
What a quest board are.
Anyways, so you basically, different camps can run them, and they will have little things for people to do with small token rewards or something. You know, you offer some type of drink or I don't know, whatever you feel like the
perhaps
reward.
some sort of artificial currency that you can then exchange for certain rewards.
So something that me and Riket were throwing around with the quest board is beer tokens.
I think one of the rewards should just secretly be a potato. And like they do the quest, you can't know the reward, and then when you do it, and they're like, your reward is a potato.
Do you know about this camp of potatoes?
Yes, that's why
Actually,
the
hold
reward.
on. I'm liking this idea, but I'm
keep the
thinking.
Yeah, just take that and put it on the
Yes, that's
to your right
why.
as you enter.
I'm thinking that if we have like an artificial currency,
Uh-huh.
and then rewards listed out, 1, 5, 10, 20, whatever denominations. One, rather than actually explaining what the reward
It
is,
just has
it's just
question
question marks. Yeah.
And it's a fucking potato.
Exactly. You really wanted to exchange one token, have a potato.
Because Nardu currency is potato based.
Yes.
Which
So
is
it's
another
1 to
story.
1. It's perfect. One token, one potato.
And if you're really lucky, you might be able to trade that potato for a beer.
It's the brown standard.
Yeah, the brown center. So I want everybody.
The Irish gold standard.
So feel free to post your ideas on the Nardu page if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to rip those together and throw some things together. And as part of the bar, when me and Riket put together, I'll figure out a place to put a billboard, and we can throw something up like that.
I can help you with that.
We got Megara for her calligraphy
Oh.
skills.
Daddy Longleg.
I mean, also,
Not
I was
actual
in
spider.
4-H, so this kind of bullshittery is kind of
Not-
fun,
Not us.
because 4-H is all about that kind of stuff.
But
Absolute.
yeah, they just eat a lot of
nonsense.
nasty bugs.
4-H and absolute nonsense.
On that note, you want to talk about the stool at all? Like your plans for it?
Yeah. A larger, more semi-permanent structure. Yeah. Fair.
So y'all, from the chat, like, do y'all remember the Shantytown bar from last year?
I think other people wandered off. It's just Taylor at the moment. So he's... Unless people
Rodger.
want to prove me wrong,
Come
that'd
here.
be perfectly good.
Get over
But last year,
He's sitting there crying.
basically, we had...
Because there's a cat on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh.
3 10x10 pop-up pavilions.
Lashed into a line.
Yeah,
with,
it's lashed together.
with tarps zip-tied to them. Looking for something a little bit more waterproof, first off, and also windproof. So actual, wooden timbers, all bolted together in a nice modular fashion, so that it can be quickly assembled. And
Have you thought about that dragon wing setup that we saw at the vineyard last year? You remember when we walked down and saw that dude's cart?
I do.
And remember that canopy that he had set up called the dragon wing canopy?
I don't remember that part.
It kind of acts like a bowl. You get what I'm saying? So it kind of creates like your own like little bar pocket. Maybe that's something to think of.
Okay, we're in the sun again.
I mean, we're outside, bud.
Yeah, no.
Maybe if you want to finish it, we should go over to...
Yeah, you're in.
Yeah.
Well, if it's just
No,
Oh, there you
how
are.
long have we been streaming?
Oh, that's a good question. How long has this stream been?
About my sister's
Like,
profile.
it's probably been like
Do you see me jumping?
hour and a half now.
Is that cam
Follow me.
featuring on Steam, or is that just not open?
I said follow me.
How
Thank
can
you.
you tell? I don't know how I can tell.
Going into this
I
one.
started streaming 95 minutes ago. All right.
It's just barbecue sauce alcohol.
All right. I think actually that is probably a good place to wrap it up. I wish Enialis was. Thank you. Here, one more story, and then we'll. Hopefully, he should be back by then.
See?
Yeah, right. Yeah, grab your glasses. So, it was a couple of years ago, and this is how Nardu got on the potato standard. Oh no.
As everybody groans.
Yes. So,
Even I did.
I think this was the first year that we really tried to do like a solid meal plan. So, and it was a
Disaster.
learning experience.
Thank you, Toledo.
So, basically, it was very simple. I added up how many people were on the meal plan and how many people were therefore paying into the meal plan. Hey guys, could you turn that
I'm right here.
volume
I'm
down?
up to level 2.
So, the let's see.
I'm at my right
I don't remember how much each person got, but we basically divvied it up. Like, if you're cooking 3 meals, then you get, 3 meals worth of the unit's funds for this nice little meal plan. And some people did better than others, is a good way to put it.
It was not a well thought out system.
Yeah, unfortunately, basically, whoever wanted to try to cook a meal was allowed to do so.
We didn't really consider whether or not people's suggestions for what they were going to make were actually feasible.
Sorry, side quest.
So, oh yes.
You want Dr. Pepper?
Yes, please.
Alright, let me grab one after we close this up.
So,
That was a fly killing thing?
so,
Wreck it.
problem is that the, please don't. So we only had so much money, and one of our members, wasn't a bad idea per se, but he went to the farmer's market, where he could get a lot of produce for cheap. And he bought in bulk, like 50 pounds of potatoes.
I lived off potatoes a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he tried to do the same for us. So, here we are, just getting set up at Rag. And he takes this massive thing of potatoes, and he just dumps it in the middle of our common area.
Now, admittedly, he takes a piece of cardboard, puts it down next to the picnic table, and then dumps out the entire 50-pound bag on top of that.
That's a waste. They came from the ground.
I don't understand why he did that part.
There was no reason. I just feel like he was standing in the middle of camp, just dumping potatoes, yelling, "We got taters, bitches." He didn't actually say that, but it seemed to fit the whole atmosphere.
Right. Yeah. So,
Alright, let's wrap this up. I'm sweating.
Alright,
Yeah.
we're
Where the
moving.
sun now?
okay.
So, the
basically-
moral of the story is that while everything was falling apart and we didn't have proper ingredients, the one thing that we never could have run out of was potatoes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that included anything to possibly go with potatoes.
Potatoes.
That did not happen
So-
to the Irish.
Yeah, no.
So, the breaking point, in my opinion, was when this person had their time to cook.
You should come over here. Tell the story properly.
It became their opportunity to cook. And so they, trying to make food for 20 people,
Something like it, yeah.
got out a massive pot, put it onto our tiny propane stove, and boiled up potato soup. That was the only real ingredient, but he tried. He tried to make it more substantial. So to this pot of
What, a dozen potatoes?
unseasoned water, he added many a potato
I only drink seasoned water.
and about 2 pieces of bacon. For the 20 of us, I never saw any bacon, but he swore that it was in there.
It was
And-
skin chippings.
And then,
Elbow chipping.
to properly round this out and to deviate away from it simply being potato soup, weak, thin potato soup after a week of potatoes, he adds what? But parsnips. If you're
More
not
root
familiar, it's a root vegetable. It's identical to potatoes. And that's why Nardu is now on the potato standard. It is our currency. And if you say that you're going to make potato soup, you get lynched.
Yes, it's just it's a bad time. Don't do it. Now,
No
potatoes are allowed, just they can't be the main course.
Oh, the constipation.
Yeah, we do not trust potatoes.
Yes, people are still very hesitant around potatoes. All right. So to wrap up. Okay. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this bit of a hodgepodge of stories. A lot that I didn't even think of. I hope you were excited to see Enialis. I know I am. Excited to see Riket, because that was not what I was expecting today even. So,
I thought he died.
I thought you died.
He did.
Glad you got better.
So Hantanil Tuli and Meldanin, thank you once again for joining me. I've been Lord Aramil, and we are signing off.
You should end all the